This is Ted. You're tuning into my podcast, and welcome. Today's topic, Bing.
Give a little, get a lot.
Yeah, you came out, boy. You came out swinging today. This has been a hot week, boy. So, no, it's great. I mean, everyone is just piling it on. It's all great. It's all great. It's all amazing.
We came out swinging today with these topics.
This whole week. I mean, I gotta tell you, I think Sunday was like a bang. It was like shotgun, shot through the heart,
and you're too late.
Real estate is my game.
Okay, yeah.
I'll work on it.
We'll do it. Remix it.
There was another version. You give real estate a bad name. That's an ode to some agents out there. Old, new, and indifferent. So give a little, get a lot. I agree. Because you got to give a little, take a little, and let your poor heart break a little.
Well, it's almost like the reason why I put that one down is we talk a lot about this, and I figured it deserved like a whole podcast.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if I want to blame a generational thing, and it may or may not be, and I may be wrong. I just feel my generation and the older generations, possibly millennials. I don't know how. I know millennials seem to be getting along with me a little better these days.
Well, you know what it is?
Oh no, sorry, no, wrong way, wrong.
Gen Z.
I seem to be getting along with Gen Zs. Very well, because you're all Gen Z. You're all young.
I'm on the border. I'm on the border.
No, you're not. If you have a 2 in front of your name, or your age,
I'm not. I'm 19. 1999.
Yeah.
Border. I'm on the border. If it was 98 or 97, I'd be a millennial.
Borderline for Madonna. She's still performing it after 40 effing years.
Okay. Well, anyway, listen.
You think someone would have pushed her love over the borderline by now?
You're funny, man.
I've been on fire. You should see me. You should see me on Thursday night. I'll be at Caroline's.
Caroline's? What's that?
It's an old comedy club that like all comics when I was growing up, when I was still a kid, they would stand up comics. I'll be at Caroline's Thursday night. Yeah, I think a lot of people got their start there, like Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe I should. I think I should do stand up. I'd be great. I just need to tell my life experiences, and it's comedy enough. But I
So back on topic. Give a little, get a lot. So I read this book a while ago. I only read one. No, I've read like 4. So I read this book, and it was the title of it is The Principles of Cause and Effect. And if I remember correctly, I hope I remember correctly, Napoleon Hill is the author. And he talks about the principles of cause and effect and how leaders in industries, crazy, uber successful people. Keep in mind, I believe the book was written in the earlier part of the 60s or the 50s, if I remember correctly. So we're talking the steel industry. We're talking railroad industry, So it talks about how people viewed successful people and what successful people did to get to where they were, which was one of the messages that I really took away from that book was, I read it at the right time in my life with different things going on with work. Because I wasn't always this much fun to be around. But things were going on, and reading the book put everything in perspective. And the one message that I always remember, there's several, but the one message is, a lot of people might not be content, or maybe they think that they should have a different job or an elevated position. Not missionary or anything,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So an elevated position where they are, and a lot of times, a lot of these successful people work and they do the job they want. They take they work with the responsibilities that aren't assigned to them financially, maybe, but they do it and they work with that mentality, and then you get it, and I feel like you get it tenfold. And when I changed my mindset from I want this, to let me do it. Let me just do it. And there are times in life that you do have to be assertive. I'm not saying that people should be doormats or let people walk all over them. I'm saying that there's a time to take inventory and make sure when you think people are walking all over you, maybe you're not doing enough of the running. So anyway, So I digress. But yes, the message is, and I think it coincides with, I think you're reading a book as well, which is this idea from this book?
The Little Book of Stoicism.
Give a little, take a...
Well,
I think I wrong. When you become successful, then you give a little and take a lot.
Oh, jeez. No. Well, no, the book, what I took from the book is learning how to regulate your emotions to where you're not reactionary and letting how you're feeling dictate how you're living.
Yeah. Well, that book is obviously should be one of the Bibles that people should read in real estate.
Yeah.
Real estate is not a contact sport. Real estate is the one field that you will benefit by not being reactive. Being proactive is much different than being reactive, and being non-reactive. Not that you're procrastinating and ignoring, but not being reactive. Don't react to something, because in real estate we are usually the buffer zone, and a lot of clients could lash out, could yell, curse, who knows what else. They're most likely going through something. And agents as well. Agents can get,
it's important just to take time to respond.
It really is. Actually, I'll give you a story. So, but anyway, did I get my message across?
Well, yeah. I mean,
give a lot, take a little. Is that it?
No, it's give a little, get a lot.
Oh, wow. Well,
okay. By that concept, it's like
maybe I was all wrong. Give a little, take a lot.
Well, if you negotiate with people, so like say like you're on your day off, right, and a client really needs help, and it may or may not lead to a sale or a check, but it will help you in your business, and it's the right thing to do.
So you gave a little. Okay,
you gave a little, and then you could get a lot out of it based on like your willingness to show that. Yeah.
Karma.
Big.
Come to me, baby. Me and karma, we go
back.
No, we just go forward.
We just go I like that.
Everyone who knows me knows what I'm talking about. Wait, back to stoicism and being reactive. We're just got to divert. Go right to this topic.
Okay.
Because it happens to me all the time. And I don't know about you. I definitely control my feelings most of the time. There is
We're human.
1% chance when I'm much more reactive than I ever wanted to be. So recently, yes, topic for lack of a better word, just bad manners. Like someone chooses not to work with you anymore, and they just happen to send a text. And really a text. But okay, right. I digress. There was a whole episode on Sex and the City, the original run, about a guy who broke up with her in a text. In a Post-it. Sorry, this is probably before real major texting. So apparently the episode it's on a Post-it. Sorry, not like don't want to see you anymore. Like it was like bye, and the funny line in the TV show was, well, the bastard's concise, or was it the fucker? The motherfucker's concise. So anyway, you get a text. These days it's texting. Where would someone find a Post-it note or a pen for that matter, or know how to write? So yeah, it was and I thought about being reactive and just maybe saying some off-color things, but I didn't. And the next morning, I was so happy I didn't. I was so happy because it didn't occupy my brain. It was nice, I guess not being. And I don't know if that's the message of the book, but sometimes by not being reactive, you're also not allowing it to occupy your brain. I'm allowing it to relate a story, because I guess a lot of the testing is that I have to be more relatable. No, kidding around. How can I be more relatable?
Well, it's important to not.
I'm real estate sweetheart.
Well, it's good. It's good that you do stuff like that. I mean, there's times
I'm not on drugs.
There's times in business too where I'll get a text or something will happen. It's like, all right, like, think about it before you respond. Like, let it rock, and then like, all right, what's the smart way to do this? Is it as big a deal as I think? You guys remember
a band called Milli Vanilli?
No.
If they were still around, they would probably sing a song called "Texting's not the same." No, texting's not the same It's a song called "Blame It on Lorraine." Oh no, "Blame It on the Rain." My secretary's name is Lorraine, so I would say, "Blame it on Lorraine." Yeah. I didn't write that email. No. Blame it on the rain.
Now I will say that like a text or an email depending on the person.
And their follow-up hit, "Girl, you know it's true. I didn't text you." No.
Can I ever be serious?
I guess the question you have to ask is, can I ever be serious?
Oh my God, I don't think.
What's
think
my rule?
we know the answer to that one.
Oh, there's a time I'm serious. What's the number 7 rule in real estate? Thanks to Pretty Woman, lines to live by.
Is there actually like
Never
a
joke
handbook?
about
Is there
money.
actually a book of? You should write a book called Rules to Real Estate and just quote Pretty Woman like the entire
Not
time.
just, it doesn't have to just be Pretty Woman. I'm sure I could go through all 80s, 90s. I could probably go all the way to the 60s for movies, but yeah, all pop culture references in real estate. Pop culture and real estate. But Pretty Woman just really just nails it right there. You know, never joke about money.
Why?
It should never joke about money because it's still a business. If I joke about my money, I am going to joke about your money. And when it comes to there is one moment, there is obviously a moment that I can guarantee I'm serious.
It's money.
Offer, counter offer, money.
And that's with anything. Like you never want to mess with someone's bag. And that comes down to like a stoic principle too. I mean, you know, you don't want to try to hurt. Like you want to be not reactive, and when you're reactive, you could hurt someone's money. Like if you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably would have been very good at being, what are those, financial
plan? No.
I can't do math. I just realized that. No, I cannot do that.
Well, I mean, and you know, I put in quotes the principle of cause and effect, and you did talk about that book a little bit in the beginning. I think
great book.
More people need to read books like that, just to kind of, like I'm mostly a history guy. I like to read history books. I mean, it's calming to me, but
I'm looking. I actually think I may actually get a book on audio that I can't believe I'm gonna get it. I don't know why. Because now everyone's talking about it. Britney Spears' book.
Get the fuck out of here! That's it. That's the end
And
of
I don't
the
want to
show.
read it. I just don't want to. I don't think I want to read it. I want to get it on audio. But there's so
She's
many great
interesting.
books. I mean, she has to have an interesting story to tell. That I'm sure you know.
She's an example of not stoic.
Correct, because she doesn't understand the other side. But
She's very reactive.
She's also about 5 years. Well, she's only 5 years younger than me. Wow, it's hard to believe. I always see these people that I feel like they're actually younger.
Well, it's probably because they act younger.
Yeah. No, I think I probably act the same level as big old Brit.
Big old Brit. No, you don't.
I do too. You should see me out with drinks.
Oh shit. Okay, well then that's different.
But wait, back to so yeah, not being reactive. That's definitely a good thing. It's definitely a good thing. It's a good thing not being.
Well, I
reactive.
wanted to get back. I wanted to talk a little bit about the give a little, give a lot, and I feel like because we said
give
something,
a little, get a lot. It's amazing how things come back to you tenfold.
Yes.
And it could be good things or bad things.
and you said something too. It could be like a generational thing, like where my generation doesn't do that, and I did want to speak.
Do you think that they do?
I think unintentionally, because a lot of us
Unintentionally.
Let me
tell me what you mean.
Let me explain.
Unintentionally, they do not give a little to get a lot.
Yes. I think a lot like quiet quitting, being, you know, that type of deal. I think that's because a lot of workplaces.
I think you have quiet quitting and loud giving up.
Okay. A lot of workplaces have the tendency to, when you do give a little, they take advantage of it and expect you to give a lot with very little in return. There's not that mutual understanding of, if you go above and beyond, I will reward you for going above and beyond. I feel like that in a lot of places.
I think the disconnect would occur in terms of what people view as rewards. I've just seen it. I think that we have from 1 decade ago to today, because I've been hiring people for 12 years. I've been recruiting differently in different ways way before that. But as an actual job description, recruiting and hiring people, I've been doing it. It'll actually be 12 years in 38 dates. 12 years, right?
Right.
So I see that the big difference is the age. 10 years ago versus today, and obviously it was a fairly gradual, but definitely a steep line curve going up. More and more younger people seem to be embracing the idea of entrepreneurship, and that's excellent. That's just, you know what, more power to you if you're brave enough. I've seen a lot of young people. Seems like diversity is more is you know, and I mean diversity in terms of financial things and careers. Okay. I mean great. I'm all for diversity. I'm equal opportunity. I'm nothing if not open to anything.
But okay, but listen, I wanted.
But wait, back to diversity. I've noticed that everyone seems to have, like, a lot of younger people have way more going on, like in terms of businesses, and like someone might be doing, you know, something in the field of entertainment and parties, and also finances and investment, and I look at this and I think, oh my gosh, I'd be exhausted. My generation, and maybe I'm the last generation because I can't speak for the millennials, but I bet you they teeter on this. I feel my generation might be one of the last generations that said, you do one thing, and the goal, my goal is to be great at it.
I share that same sentiment.
What?
I share the same sentiment.
To do one thing great.
Because I would be exhausted if I did.
But a lot of people in your generation seem to do a lot.
It's an impatience. I think it's an impatience.
So back to when you said I was right about something. Unintentionally. Tell me about your...
So...
I feel like Oprah.
Unintentional. Like... It'll be like if you work at a corporate store, or you work at in a lot of restaurants, it's like this. Or even I was in the radio industry for almost 10 years. You're expected to give a lot, and that's getting taken advantage of a lot.
I feel that you guys missed the beat. You're expected to give a lot. It's called life.
No, I mean, like, more than what is, like, we'll go above and beyond. Like, I went above and beyond because I wanted to do more, and I wanted a bigger paycheck, and I wanted a bigger spot in the company. And I would do this at I would always ask for more. And I'd be like, hey, can I get more hours? Can I learn the board? Can I get some airtime? Can I get some editing in? And
my answer would be, I don't know. Can you?
May I? But still, it was like, I want to do this. And it would be almost like...
Wait, what's the lesson there? Ask the right questions to get the right answers.
Well, when you're 18 years old...
I shouldn't point. It's a very rude thing to do. But I'm pointing at myself, so if I'm being rude to myself...
No, I don't know. But my whole point is that when you do... Like, I wanted to give a lot. I was like, I'll give 100% if you're willing to give 100%. And oftentimes, it was like, oh, yeah, keep doing that, kid. Good job. You're a good worker. And then it would be no additional compensation. I'd have roles,
I'm going to go out on a limb for the generations, me and before me.
Okay.
You guys are not understanding something. I understand wanting more or more responsibility, and there's something to be said about growing into it. And it's not so like if I had a brand new agent, 19 years old, and let's take it for granted that they actually learned everything they could possibly learn about real estate, right? And they are competent and they can do a job that I assigned to them. They may feel that, oh no, he didn't assign that job to me, or that responsibility to me. I might not assign it because of them. I might take into account a client's feelings when it comes to their, like, depending on the client, they might not want to take direction or embrace direction from a 21-year-old.
Well, you're also
it's like, go pay a mortgage for a while, kid.
But you're in real estate. Like, I'm talking about like a wage job. Like, this is an entrepreneurship. You have to be more cognizant of that. You know what I mean?
I've seen more payoffs from faith than from aggression. You get so much more of a payoff by having faith.
But I've seen people, like, at least in my industry, I've seen people have that faith. They've stayed with the company I was at for 2 years. They stayed for like 10, and they still weren't getting anywhere near where they needed to be or should have been. Even though they didn't ask for anything, they never complained. They showed up every day, even when they had COVID, and there was still they still have to live at home because they can't afford to move out. They're still not paid what they should be getting paid, even though they're masters at the craft. And they're in their 30s at this point.
We sometimes never see the full picture. And sometimes sometimes it could be unfair. So I'm not saying it doesn't occur. It just can't occur at the level that I see it at. Life cannot be unfair all the time.
Well, no, it can't be. And
I feel Tony, and this comes from Tony Robbins. We are where we're supposed to be, and it's pay attention to the lessons that you're learning. And some of the best lessons, unfortunately, are from failure and discontent. And take it for granted. You either want to learn lessons in life or you don't.
And that's that's the thing is you do also have to be open to that. A lot of people, at least in my age, don't want to work, or they don't want to learn lessons like that because they think their lives are so traumatized already. I mean, talk to a World War II veteran, but there's a song from AJR that talks about the smallest violin. The smallest violin. Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I mean, I see that a lot. I see a lot of people with the world's smallest violin, but there's also some legitimacy too to.
Like, I don't know if my generation is really as appreciative of the world we grew up in. We grew up in a world where, like, I don't remember ever having the threat of a draft, and not hey, things happen and things have to occur and things have to be done. It's just that I don't remember that as a threat me growing up, and I feel other generations, including one subsequent to mine, you did grow. You actually had a different set of circumstances. Like, so I don't know if I'm appreciative of life because it's so great to be that way, or maybe it's because I should be.
Well, your generation was also the one that came out of that culture, like the first generation of not needing a draft or not having to worry about going to war.
I remember a little bit in elementary school. I know we had a nuclear war drill, just for the if that ever happened, but I feel like it was very short lived.
Right.
As a child, but not like as an adolescent, like we could go to war. I feel like those days had passed. So my
generation just reads about it in history books, if they even read.
Well, but yes, the subsequent generations have a different type of war, where it's the war that's actually can happen in this country. That is definitely a millennial and a Generation Z.
Terrorism.
Yeah, terrorism was a thing that only happened. I mean, we only. So we'd go to Greece as a family for a couple of vacations, and if like terrorism was on the rise, I'm laughing because I look at it now and I'm thinking it was almost interesting. So my parents, we might not fly the Greek airline. There was one Greek airline. They spoke Greek, everything. So in like one vacation, my dad made sure we were on TWA because no one's gonna touch America, TWA. So anyway, but I never experienced. Well, obviously, as an adult, I did with the terrorist attacks. But we never saw terrorism on here. Until
9/11.
Recently, really, the millennials and the Gen Zers as children. So there is a difference. There is a difference in life.
Definitely, and it's
and maybe that's what makes you guys a little impatient.
It's also there's a lot of people passed away that were in that World War II generation, and like my grandfather was in the Second World War, so I got to hear all that experience and the Great Depression and what that was like. But a lot of people my age don't have that or never had that, so they don't understand.
Story. You don't have the first-hand story.
Yeah, and that's a big difference. Like, it shapes your worldview in a better way to have someone from that generation speak to you.
I grew up with people that had to endure the Great Depression.
Yeah, so you understand it. It's a lot of kids. Their parents are in their 40s, or they're they had kids young or somewhat youngish, and then their grandparents were maybe in their 70s, so they didn't grow up during the Depression.
So what's so far? I could see you're a placeholder and doesn't have. You're not finished with the book Stoicism.
Not finished with it. No.
What's a takeaway that you have already? Just being 25% into the book. Is there a message?
Just like if you feel like I have a problem where I get agitated quickly. I'm a little hot under the collar.
Does anyone ever hit you?
Hit me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been bullied a lot in school and like.
No, I mean like no, really, like I know we're not supposed to do this. Like if I had an agent who was anxious or something, and I just turned around and said, hit them, like like you see in movies.
No, but
calm down.
If someone
snap out of it.
If someone did do that to me, I'm throwing hands and I'm fighting. So don't
like
hit
a
me.
back of the head.
Don't do that.
Too bad.
Don't do that.
I know who I am. No, I have never hit anyone.
Okay.
But many people deserve me.
Deserve to get hit. But I learned in the book, I'm like, all right, like, is this really something to get upset about? Is this really something to get angry about? No.
Exactly. What
Just
have I
take
said
a minute.
in the past? Don't sweat the small things. And almost everything is a small thing.
Yeah. And
well,
then
not everything.
Well, something I also took from the book too is not even from the book. This was just a principle that I learned. Like I just heard it, thrown around. If someone's angry or they're taking it out on you, it's probably not you.
It's most definitely usually not you, unless I'm taking something out on you. Then it's you.
Yeah. Well, like it has to be directed or specifically.
No, even then, it's not. Even then, everything is so much more internal. We're amazing beings. Our brain, the fact that our brain can control every body part, it's amazing. This is like the supercomputer. They're getting close, but they haven't recreated it yet.
Artificial intelligence is pretty terrifying as it is, but it could get better.
I'd have to put it next to me. I'd have to see how it works with my challenges.
Listen, we might make that an episode where we actually interact with it.
And get a real robot. A robot. Wait, we could call it TED.
TED.
Technologically
enriched device.
Device. That would work. Do you have a TED? A technologically enhanced.
Enhanced.
Enhanced device. Devotee. Disciple.
Deity.
No. It has to be TED.
TED. Yeah. Deity.
I'll give you a real estate story in a little while because we're going to do a whole episode on
real estate stories. Well,
so this is a fun podcast. It got a little stoic, I suppose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you see the principles of cause and effect.
Yeah, it's true. And we got some good intergenerational.
And get a lot. I got one-liners up the wazoo. So this is Ted G, or the real Ted G, and this is my podcast. Definitely look for us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.